Hey y'all, you guys are the best. You have given me so many ideas for my Florida wildflower garden from your comments in my last video. I love it. Hanging baskets. I've got some flowering plants. Let me go show you. Let's just go see. First of all, my coral honeysuckle that I put in a pot in this nectar garden down here, you can't even see it because the pentas and the Mexican sunflowers by it are completely growing over it. But remember how I had 2 trellises left from when I bought the ones that didn't match? I could put one up down the wildflower garden and move the coral honeysuckle down there because it is a Florida native. So let's do that. See, do you see the coral honeysuckle? Do you see it? No, but it's in there. So I'm going to go tromp in there and pull it out. Ta-da! And I'm going to put it right up front too. I'm going to make some space right in here where there are some weeds coming up and just nestle this in and put the trellis up in front of it. So when we're sitting in the garden chairs, we'll have a good straight view of the coral honeysuckle, and that will be beautiful. See, and look right here, you can't even tell that coral honeysuckle is gone. It is buried in there. So that's going to be great because now I'll be able to see it right up there. Now, next thing is, oh my gosh, so many of you suggested putting hanging baskets in here. And I think I want to try and get some frog fruit, which I have a little bit, and I know I can root some off of it, but it'd just be quicker to find some. Maybe do some frog fruit hanging baskets. But another one of you suggested I try putting some of my milkweed in hanging baskets. Now, milkweed is not your typical plant that you think of to go in a hanging basket at all. But if it keeps the rats from eating it, at least until it gets bigger, I don't know. So why not, right? It's my garden. I can do what I want to, right? Let's try it. So I've got 2 shepherd's hooks back here in my collection. The bunnies and the one. So I think I'll do the one and I'll put it in the wetland garden where I used to have my milkweed and plant a few of those milkweed plants. I have hanging baskets. I bought a 4-pack. I only used 2 of them. So I still have 2 more in my garden room that I can use. It's a very, very tall shepherd's hook. How's that gonna look? Well, let me go get the pot. Oh my, here we go. It's zoomy time. I don't know how this one hanging basket, it looks kind of small, and that shepherd's looks so tall. I think it looks kind of silly. Why is that shepherd's hook so tall? Oh, look, there's my bee. Look, there he is. Isn't he cute? That's my teddy bear bee. Okay, I have an idea. I have that other hanging basket. What if I figure out a way to rig it where I can hang the other hanging basket from the bottom of this one? So it'd be like one and then the other one hanging below. Let me go see if I can make that happen, because that, like if there were 1, 2, that would make a big difference in how that's gonna look. And y'all look who's right here. 2 giant swallowtails eclosed today. Just fine on the new chrysalis tree. And little Mr. Monarch is J hanging. It's a beautiful day in the, I don't know, this is the lepidarium. I guess it could be the eclosing lepidarium. All right, I have these little wire twisty tie things that go with some old plant tags I had. So maybe I can use those to attach that basket. Okay, they were kind of thin, so I twisted 2 together and then hooked them on, and now I'll use these ends to twist onto the bottom of the other planter. It'll be fabulous. Look at that one's practicing opening up its wings, airing them out, letting them dry. You guys, I think it's kind of cool. All right, let's plant some milkweed. Why not? Since swamp milkweed is a water-loving plant, I'm just gonna line the bottom with some plastic before I put the potting soil in to help it hold water more. It won't like completely drain out right away, even though I'll be out watering every day to make sure, but still, that'll be a little bit helpful. I have these 2 pots. When you have pots of soil sitting around, they get these guys in them. So look, I'm already gonna have some good worms in my soil, in my hanging baskets for my milkweed. I love it. Hey, the other one's opened its wings, and so I have a male and a female. Woohoo! See from the wing tip, the very end of the wing, there's a little tiny splotch and a little tiny splotch and a bigger splotch, and then a yellow band. That's the tallest one of all the yellow bands, the tallest one. See how there's that little splotch on it? That means it's a female. Over here's Mr. Male. See the tallest yellow band from the wingtip? No little splotch on it? That's the male. Splotch, no splotch. Got it? Does that make sense? It's the opposite of monarchs. The males have the spot on the monarch. The females have the spot for the giant swallowtails. Okay, back to work. Here we are at my poor pathetic milkweed raised planter. And I want to pick the milkweed plants that are most likely to grow back and shrub out well. So I'm thinking this one right here, because it's got growth in 2 spots. See that? It's got some growth here and some growth there. And then this one right here has growth right here, but it also has some growth down there. Okay, so now I'm looking at it, and it's really making the shepherd's hook lean out. Does that look dumb? Maybe I can lean it back. Let me see if I can fix it up a bit before I plant my milkweed. Okay, I got it straightened up somewhat, but I'm gonna go at it with the sledgehammer. Oh, and if this makes you think of a Peter Gabriel song, you're fabulous. Okay, it's straight. Let's plant that milkweed. All right, there we go. Grow milkweed, grow. Did I show you how I actually hooked this on? See, there's a ring around there and I just wrapped it and twisted it on. So by twisting it, it makes it a stronger hold. But if it breaks, I can always fix it. So my husband and I were out running errands this morning, and we were up in Dade City, and there's a TJ Maxx. And of course, if you go by a TJ Maxx, if you're my husband and I, you stop, right? And I found some planter deals. Not only that, next door was a Ross, so we went there, and I found another planter. Let me show you. Look, I've got my loot right here. Look, these two even match. So these have drain holes, so they'll be for like something like annual zinnias, maybe some of those plants I bought from Joyful Butterfly. So this one was $8, and its matching friend was $16. And then look at this thing. Is this not fabulous? my husband put it down out here and told Brain go. It's his new dog water bowl. This could be like a bird bath. But what I want to do with it is down this garden trail, there's a little planter that has aquatic milkweed in it that is nothing but sticks because, can you guess? But also that planter is broken, like underneath it is cracked. That's why I have it buried in there. So it's kind of low and it doesn't stand out like the bigger one on the corner right there. So I thought, well, what if I take all those plants out of there and then I set this on top of that as a base, and then I can do a wetland planting in here because it holds water, right? So let's do it. I really like it. Like, I like it to the point that I might want to leave it as a water feature. Just let it be a bird bath. Oh my gosh, I love that. It's plastic, but the way it was designed, it looks kind of concrete-like. What do you think? I mean, I can always plant something in it later, or I could put a pot. Oh, I'm having thoughts. I could put a big pot in there that is a wetland pot, so that would add height, but then the water would still be around it. I don't think birds would bathe in it though if it had a pot in the center of it. Don't you love how I just think out loud to you all? That's what we do here. That's what we do. We're looking for inspirations for the butterfly garden. Oh my gosh, you guys, I didn't figure that out, but I'm looking at this and I've had an inspiration. Those are those little cube shelves. Okay, so I've seen the rats. They're huge. They could not fit through those little square openings on the side. So what if I built those up like 2 stories tall? I could even add a 3rd story if need be, and then put a cube on the top as a lid, and put the rest of my milkweed, or a lot of my milkweed, the milkweed that still seems to be alive, in there. I'll just leave everything else in there with it. And the rats should not be able to get through those holes because they're big. Oh my gosh. Let's try it, because I've got a lot of those shelves and I've got a bunch of little plastic clippy things, right? Okay, I'm glad you agree. And meanwhile, I'm just gonna leave that empty and I'm gonna water in a little bit. I'll put some water in it and make a decision whenever or just leave it like that. I just like how it looks from the other end of the garden, like down here. See how it adds, like there's just something to draw the eye besides the new double hanging basket on the shepherd's hook that's straight. And the cute little French bulldog eating my snow square stem. Sir, Ringo. It's okay if he eats it. He loves it. It's not poisonous. He and Ray, I don't know what it is about that snow square stem, but they say it's in the mint family. It freshens their breath. I almost forgot to tell you, they had some gardening tools at Ross too. So I got these two, Black & Decker pruners and trimmers. The floral snips were $6.99, and that's that one, $6.99. And then this one was, I can't see the price tag, $5.99. And then I got this little pointy shovel. Look at that. I love that for digging deep, especially the way I like to plant things where everything's smashed together, you know. It's not gonna mess with the plants around it. And that was $3.99. Isn't that fantastic? So for 6, 7, 13, and 4, $17, I got 3 gardening tools. That's pretty cool. That was at Ross. And what reminded me was I want to grab this. I can use it to move these milkweeds into that other raised planter. I'll tell you what, guys, I'm going to beat these rats one way or the other. So there's a good spot right there for one. And maybe I can fit one in the middle there and then one over there for sure. You know, garden beds look so much prettier when you stir the dirt up and it looks all fresh. I mean, what a difference that made digging in each of these spots. All right, now I gotta take all these corner guys off and turn them the other way like this so we can build up. Fortunately, look at that last one. I built it that way anyway, so yay! Only have to turn a few of the clips. There we go, look at that. Just have to put the tops on. Oh my gosh, okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Well, actually, monarch butterflies probably can get through those if they wanted to lay eggs on the milkweed when it grows in there. I don't know if they will or not. I'll just have to wait and observe. But if they don't, that means that milkweed will be less likely to have OE. And so I can like toss caterpillars in there on it as I come across them, because those leaves will likely be free of OE, but that's in the future. First I have to make observations and see, because the monarch butterflies can definitely fit through those holes. So it'll be curious to see if they do or not. Won't it be fun to watch? Okay, let me go put the tops on. All right, there we go. Look at that. Now we just have to wait and hope the milkweed grows back. So we've got 3 in here and 2 there. Look, y'all, there's Mr. Black Snake. I was just walking over to pick up my hose. This is one of the little ones though. See how close I get before he decides to run off. Oh, there he goes. Look, you guys, the monarch is pupating. Where are you going to see a monarch pupating? Right beside a gorgeous giant swallowtail. On my channel, that's where. That beautiful green chrysalis being revealed as the exoskeleton splits down the middle of the back. And then as the exoskeleton tears more and more, it'll start wriggling all around to break the rest of it loose. Sometimes the little clump of exoskeleton stays stuck at the top of the chrysalis, and other times it falls to the bottom. The other giant swallowtails over there, I'll release them tomorrow. Look at all those guys. We'll go and check on them tomorrow too. I'll show you how I rigged up the dowels for everybody who insists on being up there. They're so funny. Uh-oh, Mr. Swallowtail, you guys leave that little monarch alone. There it goes. It's going to start wiggling back and forth. All right, well, I don't know if I said it earlier, but today's Saturday, and this video is going up on Tuesday. Look, did you see it? The exoskeleton just fell. Well, now it'll wriggle around a little bit more, and then it's very important that it dry and harden. So you never want to touch a chrysalis because it takes about a day for them to firm up. It's such a precarious thing. Every monarch that you see in the wild is a miracle. 5% chance of making it from egg to butterfly. 5%. Here sometimes we give them a little bit of help. A little nudge. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow probably. Hey everyone, it's Sunday morning and I have come out to clean out the caterpillar enclosure like every morning. Things are starting to slow down a little bit in there. All those polydamas swallowtails, a lot of them have gone off to prepare to pupate. I just wanted to pop in real quick and let you see the caterpillars and let you know I'm going to release these two beautiful giant swallowtails. So just wanted you to get to see them one last time because these guys are big. I do use two hands to release them because I don't want anything to potentially happen to them. So they're going to be off and flying, and hopefully, oh please, 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 Mr. and Mrs. Swallowtail, come back and visit my garden. All right, I'll be right back. All right, so those giant swallowtails are flying free. They both took off and flew high in the sky right away. Here is my last caterpillar. And then this one is getting ready to pupate. And there's one on the back side. It's already in its chrysalis, and I'll move it into onto the chrysalis tree in the other enclosure. I've got a few Gulf fritillaries still munching, but they're really big. And these are the last of them that I'm gonna raise in the lepidarium unless something happens to their population again. And most of the caterpillars are up here. Now I have to show you something that's kind of adorable. See the little one beside the big one? It's like sometimes they go off to molt and they still want to be by each other. So I'll keep an eye on that little one, and if it doesn't move, I'll put it back on its plant after I'm sure it's not attaching itself, preparing to molt. But they're just the sweetest little things. The Great Southern White caterpillars are still in their chrysalides. I've got my little row here of Gulf fritillary, polydamas. There's those two. Great Southern White. This is a little Gulf fritillary that was pupating the other day. You can see it's completely in its chrysalis. Great Southern White. There is a Giant Swallowtail, Gulf fritillary, Gulf fritillary. That one is going to pupate just fine. That little polydamas, its tail end came disconnected from its silk, but I've got others hanging like that, and I've seen it happen to them a lot, and they can still pupate. And there is a Giant Swallowtail. The one closest to the corner is empty. That butterfly already eclosed. And there is a polydamas. There's just a few guys down still munching on the plants. You can see I had to totally move to cuttings. There's a lot of them over on this one, but they can get back and forth to both cuttings. And I think this one's decided to pupate on the stem. And all of these guys are really, really close to pupating. Oh my gosh, they're adorable. And when those butterflies are flying out, I expect to get more caterpillars for sure. So you know I said I was having some issues with the dowels falling? Well, I got some Gorilla Glue tack, and it's like sticky tack, and I stuck it on there. So that has been working out fabulously. It's this stuff here. Mounting Putty Gorilla. On Amazon, of course. So I'm sure this will come in handy for other things also. But it's really doing a nice job holding up the dowels. I think I might put a few more dowels up in there for the rest of those polydamas when they decide to start wandering. And the little Monarch, fully formed chrysalis right there. Beautiful. Perfect. I love it. And speaking of monarchs, yesterday when I was doing all those changes for the Swamp Milkweed, I thought, well, why don't I build some of those towers for the big planter too? And so I went to town and also found 3 trellis pieces to put in there. And it looks really nice. So we'll see if the rest of the milkweed that's in there can grow back as well. But let me show you real quick. I like it a lot better than what it looked like before. So there it is. It's got 3 of the tall towers, and then behind each one is a trellis. And I'm contemplating what I want to put on the trellis. I could put twine vine, or I could put some pipe vine up there. I'm not sure which, but I don't know. I think it looks really cool though. So hopefully this milkweed will grow back. I still left this, I don't know, some kind of wire stuff running across the back just to keep the lizards, you know, make it a little bit more difficult for them to have to climb up and over to get in. And then the trellis pieces run up higher. So I like how this looks, and the ultimate goal is to let the milkweed grow. You guys, I almost forgot to show you the monarchs. I had taken this little pot of milkweed out of the enclosure because I was cleaning it, and I left it sitting on my work table. And so when I was in the enclosure showing you some of the guys in there, these guys didn't get to be seen. So these are the ones I was telling you about. I only have 2 little milkweed plants for them, but I do have a lot of twine vine if need be. I've already got some cuttings of it that I brought in a kombucha bottle just in case I need to put it in there with them. You guys, I'm just sitting here editing, and that was an eastern tiger swallowtail. Right to that lantana too. I gotta get more of that out and about in the garden. It just flew off again, but I saw it. You saw it too, I hope. You guys, I get more content just sitting out here editing. Look, there's sandhill cranes walking through my yard. Well, now they're going into the neighbor's yard. They're so beautiful. They're so tall. They're also scary because they're big. There's a gorgeous monarch. And you guys, look, my passiflora incense is blooming. And it has bee friends visiting. I feel like it just happened like that. I feel like we were just back here looking, and this was all dead and looked like just a bunch of sticks intertwined. And look at how it has just grown in and greened up, and now it is flowering. Oh my gosh, I love it. There's that lantana again. It's got, looks like a little horse's dusky wing over there on it. I've got to get more of that stuff in my garden. The eastern tiger swallowtail is on it. You are right, Adam. You are right. It is like a neon sign. There's my little teddy bear bee. Pickerel weed has a lot of activity. There's my teddy bear bee again. You know, this is kind of fun. I'm just sitting out in the garden, and every time I see somebody interesting, I just get up and film it. We could just do this in a video. Look how pretty it is, sparkling in the Florida sunshine. You know, now I'm over here looking at this lantana. I need to get this one up higher. So let me go see if I have a plant stand somewhere. So much better. And I was able to pull that little pot that has those zinnias, and I think that's one of the dwarf Mexican sunflowers, around to the front. Let's get those butterflies coming. And look, the little yellow flower turned up. Isn't that cute? Here's an interesting little guy. Sitting right here by the flower. You guys, look, it's Sunday late afternoon, and I released the 2 giant swallowtails earlier this morning, and now look, got another one. Remember this wild black cherry tree? And I moved it to my work area because I didn't think it was going to do anything. Well, I guess it finally decided it better do something, because look, it's doing something. So that's fabulous. I wonder what took it so long, because all my other wild black cherry trees are back, but this one, anyway, I don't care. I don't care what the reason. I'm just thrilled that it's coming back. All right, it's time for this little one to fly. Again, I have to use 2 hands. But remember our little lesson in, is it a male or female? This one has in the 3rd yellow band, the longest one, the tall yellow band. The tallest yellow band, actually it's the tallest yellow band in the whole row, isn't it? The one that sticks up, and yes, there is, it's hard to see through the plastic, there is a dot on it, so that means female. All right, I'm gonna go let her fly. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.